Insights with Hanle Barnard, an innovative platform with mentors and great ideas. Listen to us on SoundCloud and Spotify. Click the links below. Subscribe to our channel. Welcome to Insights with Hanle Barnard, and it's remarkable to have Renate from Schalkwyk here today. It's always an honor chatting to you, Renate. And Renate is Learning and Development Director of Wind Academy. We met earlier this year, last year we met, and I just found it fascinating talking to you because you studied interior design, and then you decided, and you made quite a rational choice, that you're going to move to a completely different, fascinating field of energy and
health and safety first,
yeah. And then you moved
to, I happened to land on wind farms, so from a health and safety officer to on the wind farms.
And just to brag about you a little bit, how many of these wind farms have you been involved with?
About 23 projects,
yes,
in about 5 countries, and all together about 723 turbines I was part of.
What a career.
Putting them up, these big, like you sometimes mention, the windmills.
I like calling you windmill lady.
Generators, yes. The windpompmeisjes.
That's it.
Yeah,
the windmill generating ladies. And so it's beautiful. Majestic. I love them. They are just beautiful.
It took me about 3 to 4 years to decide whether I actually like the look of it.
Really?
I mean, driving through the Karoo, I don't think those horizons will ever look the same. But now it's got a totally different meaning to me. So I do think they are magical.
What is the meaning for you behind this revolutionary technology?
I guess it opened up a whole new world to me. Renewable energy is a very good field to be in today in South Africa and in the entire world. We all know about our Eskom situation.
Yes, exactly.
But the wind farms, which is generally seen as a very male-dominated area, it's changing rapidly. When I entered about 8-9 years ago, I used to be the only female on these sites.
Oh, that's interesting.
And the one thing about a wind farm, they are never close to an airport.
You have to
drive. Where there's lots of wind, hence the wind farm. So, but in the communities where these wind farms are put up, mostly the jobs that's generated from it, people get opportunities, and I guess that's where I moved from the health and safety into the learning and development, which we'll get to now, is that we are obliged to take people from the community and uplift them. So when you put these wind farms together, it's huge projects. You've got to put up your hand and say, look, you're going to educate so many people and so many people. So everybody wants to be a wind turbine technicians because you're the one climbing those big wind turbines. And to see someone from an area like Cradock or Bedford or who those circumstances aren't great. These klein dorpies, it's not nice places. It's not a place you go on to Lekkerslop and you say, oh, I want to go to Cradock for the weekend.
Okay.
So to take someone that's almost had no hope, put them on a short course. It's a 10-day wind turbine technician course, and from there on, depending on this person's attitude, the world is his oyster.
Depending on their attitude.
Absolutely. We give you the skills, and you don't have to have a tertiary education to do that. And from there on, Finland, Sweden, Asia, Russia, they get to see the whole world. And the poverty line for me, for those people are broken. Their children are now going to private schools. They've moved out of their areas, out of their circumstances. Look, for every 1 or 2 great success stories, there are not so many, but
yes,
it's up to you because the opportunities are there. These solar farms, these wind farms are creating opportunities for the youth.
So there is this dynamic change that you are bringing in people's circumstances, where does that come from? Is it a passion you've always seen, or are you more interested in people, or do you have a fascination or a love for people? What is it about you?
I have got a deep, I would say, a love for the upskilling of people, of taking people out of a hopeless situation and giving them hope. And education is the one thing I honestly believe is going to be the game changer in South Africa. So we have got eras of poverty, inequality, unemployment that we need to catch up. And I think with being in renewables and the green economy, it's only one of the sectors and the areas that one is able to do that. What bothers me, and we've spoken about this previously, is that the big schools and the good schools, and we're talking about functional schools and non-functional schools, and that comes back to inequality. There's more non-functioning schools in South Africa. Is that you do not know about these opportunities.
That's the thing. We're not knowledgeable on what opportunities.
No.
What do you do? You
sustainable development is the big next thing. ESG, your environmental sustainability governance. It was legislated in December. Companies do not even know what's waiting for them. There are many courses that you can do that you don't know about. That will immediately, if you put that on your CV, it will get you into a workplace.
Amazing.
To me, it's about to promote and also to offer courses that can get you into employment immediately.
That's fascinating because, you study something and you kind of go, now what with the unemployment rate? But it looks like this is a pillar or a segment where you can really go to and it will open up doors for you. But I don't think we know about it.
No, the awareness is not there. So you are going to see the renewable energy training centres popping up. It is very governed, so you've got to go through audits and all of that. But it's a no-brainer. It is the way to go.
Amazing.
So I would say, if you ask where did it start, I think it is by. I always used to say that if I can't touch 1 million people's lives, I don't want to get involved. And I have got a great boss and a mentor that I worked for, or still working for many years. And he always says that I'm looking at it wrong. Even if you change one person's life, you do not know where where the magnitude ends and where's the lead. And if I'm looking at those guys that I have, the 10 or the 12 in my career, that only if I say no hope, I mean no hope. They're sitting on the street corners. You take a chance on them. It is expensive training, and the want that they want, the want that's in them, and the will that's in them to change, and then from there on, the rest is literary history. So I think that's where it is. And so from the health and safety, which opened many doors for me, I studied further in adult education, and that's where I came into the learning and development. It is also to develop content for a very new market. And if I say new, it's in South Africa, it's new. I mean, the first turbine talk about in Scotland was in the 1800s. So, but it is new to South Africa. And I don't see it, well, it's not going to go away. So it's best that we create the awareness for
the
our
knowledge
students and the knowledge. We are there. I'm here to speak about education and doing a bit of research about what do you now come and say. Like, only we're going into a time where the careers that our children, I've got a son in grade 10 this year, he doesn't. I can't tell him what the job future is going to look like in 5 years because it's so rapidly changing.
It is. It's changing all the time. So something blowing there. It's you. It's the wind.
The wind.
It follows Renate everywhere.
So you have got to. So what do you advise your children? What do you say?
Exactly.
So I see the the way of being employed in the future on a total different way than now. I don't think it's going to be about your grades. I don't think, just coming with a university degree and a straight A student. I always say I don't work with brilliant jerks. So to me, we need to find ways to look at potential, to actually level the playing field in when you are looking for new talent, that you don't go and just see your matric results or your varsity results, because I'm talking about the inequality. There's different things. This person that I met in Bedford or Dar and gave him opportunity, he would never in a mainstream job get the opportunity.
You wouldn't probably thrive there, whereas you go and almost look for these
exactly.
people and
so
uplifting.
I think we should look at finding new ways of actually. We need to leapfrog. That's it. Out of eras of poverty and inequality and unemployment. And the main thing, I always say, if we do not solve the unemployment crisis in South Africa, it doesn't matter what else we solve. It doesn't. One part of my business as well is we do unemployed learnerships. And to me, I'm sitting with students that know that they are points. They know they are means to an end for a company.
Okay.
And I actually want to challenge big corporates and say, don't just pay your skills levy and train these learners and have your tick box done. They need to be absorbed into the workplace. So make it your priority to check in on these students. I mean, to me, you should actually get your points, once you've absorbed these learners into the workplace. But now you're getting your points on spend. So you've just got to literally
talk
spend.
about points, because you talk about points for somebody.
It's the BB triple E. So your BE.
I understand.
Which is a grudge spend for many. We all understand why it was brought in, and I think the intention there was right, but the execution of it is not helping.
It's not what it was meant to be.
So I'm sitting with students that's on their 4th or 5th learnership, learnership hoppers, because they're getting a stipend, and we need a total mind shift change in South Africa, because that employers are paying for them for a very good qualification. But they're not going to absorb them into the workplace.
I understand.
So to me, if you're on your 4th, why? You should have been in employment. And so that is what I'm thinking is the system is failing our youth. But only I think there's a lot that's not being done right. There's also definitely a lot that is being done right. And I think it's up to the corporates and the private sector to make that adjustment, to make that almost policy to yourself, going, I've got 10 unemployed learners, I'm going to absorb 5, I'm going to absorb 8. And you know what, I want monthly feedback on them, I want them in to employment.
And that's a change as a mentor and a leader that you would implement. Yes. And this in your opinion would change the structure of how things are working at the moment.
Of course,
if you're
on your 4th learnership, why? But it's we've created a generation of handouts because they're getting the stipend, they're getting the qualification for free. You must want more for yourself, saying that I want to move into a job with this learnership, because that's ultimately what we are doing. We are offering learnerships and qualifications that can get you job ready. So I guess from where I started and how it evolved and where I am now, I don't think I can be in a better sector at this stage. But I do think we need to intentionally make a decision as entrepreneurs, as CEOs, as business owners, of how we are going to approach this. The leaving it to the government it's no longer an option for us.
It's not an option for us. We seem to be, and I think that is panic we feel is we simply can't rely on our government
No.
for much.
No.
And so we have to
not
take
education.
things, not education.
Yeah.
And so,
always-
we're taking responsibility and
Yes.
trying to move things forward with mentorship. And
Yes.
finding.
Absolutely. I see mentorship as a cheat code, actually. And I think
Interesting.
one needs to find mentors because, especially in the industry that you are in, just learn from other people's mistakes. You don't have to go pay your own school fees again.
Right.
And what I have realized is that the people in South Africa really wants to make a difference. I work a lot with big corporates that do the social economic spend, the social economic development spend in the area. So especially with the wind farms, you've got to spend quite a lot of money on the upliftment of those areas. The problem is lots of them are foreign companies. So they don't, and if I say they don't care, it sounds a bit harsh, but after the wind farm, they're up and they leave. We are left here
Yes.
with those communities. So we are now putting in very, very innovative solutions, learning solutions, to actually impact the entire community with content that's starting to shift people's minds. You can actually learn content on your device and you can get paid for it. So you are you are creating an income with the content that you are viewing on these devices. So
What do you mean by that whole you can view things on your devices?
So these big corporates, they need to spend a lot of money in these areas.
Okay.
But without a vision, they go and they do a little bit of hampers here, and they do this. And we know what the communities, we work very close with the municipalities, the municipal managers, the mayors, that they've got a plan for what they want for this little dorpies we work in, or these little communities, but they don't have the funds. Now, these big corporates, their money can make all the difference, but they don't have the vision.
So the two must marry.
So the two must marry. And we have now actually came to the point where we are the Wind Academy is the provider of choice, actually the learning provider of choice to help the communities with this in the area, because we actually know what's going on the ground. We are in the communities. I myself, when building the wind turbines with my technicians back in the days, I stayed in Noblesfontein, I stayed in De Aar, I stayed in Bedford. You get to know these communities.
Yes, you know their profile. You have a
and
create a passion for
and
them.
what it is that they need. Yeah. So one of the things that we're doing now is devices. Everybody needs to have access to devices. And then the content that's on there is what we feel can actually start changing the mindsets of the people. So the generation of handouts should stop. The salsa generation needs to stop. So you basically, it's a concept for another day, but that's only one of the solutions that we are doing now with the social economic developments in these areas. So usually the one big resource that's lacking is money. We're in the fortunate position that these people have a lot of money. These corporates do have a lot of money. They just need a vision and they need a solution. We're calling it the butterfly effect.
Yes, I like that.
So it's about one small change can have a ripple effect, and you don't know where that ends.
Yes.
And these communities, I want them to look at that wind turbine in that area or that solar farm and have the same feeling that I have and what it did for me in my life. But very often you come and they feel that it actually just left the area, once with construction and there was a lot of people. Once we leave there, there's just a trail of destruction and there was no plan in place. So there's a lot of governance that goes with these renewable energy projects. So you need to say, what is it that you are going to do? And again, just like BEE, we don't want this to be a tick box for the corporates. We want you to actually see what your money can do. And if you look back, because these contracts are usually 25 years. If you look back and you can say, I put 14 or 15 people through university, or I created out of this area 200 wind turbine technicians, it's something that you can leave a legacy. We are passionate about it because we stay behind. We know what their money can do. So I just think it's about having a vision. It's about having intent.
Yes, it's about having that vision.
Yes.
And you're an advocate of change.
Yes.
You always,
impact makers.
You're and I love that about you. And it's that vision. So if you had to give the vision a word, what do you think that word should be that they have to focus on to create a change? I'm so worried sometimes about the country where we are, like the rest of the world, are worried. What do you think that vision should be? If you could fix it.
I would say is that we need to create a sustainable future for us that's not going anywhere, and for our children. And sustainability, according to the Sustainability World Goals, is something very different to what sustainability is. Sustainability means that you are able to look after yourself, or to reproduce, to be aware that whatever if it's a big corporate, and the way you are manufacturing, the way you're producing has got an impact.
Yes.
So but in a smaller community, it means it's about stewardship. It's about looking after your town, picking up behind yourself, not breaking or burning the things that has been given to you.
Yes.
It's about, we're breaking it down to 10 principles. So I would say to create a sustainable future. And in order for that, one might need to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, what is it that we need to fix in these little communities? One of the biggest problems is alcohol abuse. Together with poverty is alcohol abuse and drugs. The kids don't finish school. So I do believe that we have got a very good future.
That's a lovely thing to say.
I honestly believe
where everyone goes, oh, and I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, I think those people who go like that, it's better that you maybe now buy that golden visa, and then you go and we spoke about this before as well. The reason why I'm here is after a 31-day visit to Australia.
You said you were looking at going there.
Yeah, they wanted to give me the opportunity. It was the longest 31 days of my life. So I must be careful who listens to this, but especially the Australians I met in my time there, I don't think they were very challenged in their life, because they're very one-dimensional.
The ones you met.
Yeah.
I've been to Australia and they're fascinating, friendly people. But I think that because I think South Africans, we always have to look at a problem and overcome. We're so used to being innovative. Oh, now Eskom, okay, how am I going to make this work? Not that I'm saying the rest of the world doesn't do it, but we have to, or we're not going to survive.
Absolutely. And we adapt quickly. And overseas, the South African wind turbine technicians are very sought after. And it's for their work attitude. They are hard workers. They talk about them about makaplan. So they say they make a plan, guys.
Make a plan.
The one guy in Finland says, I don't know what it means, but they make a plan. And that is what we are. We do make a plan. So I think not all is doom and gloom. Hanle, and I don't know if you watch the news, I make a point of not doing it anymore. Nowhere in the world now is really a place where you want to be.
Yes.
So we are here now. We the only ones who know how to solve our problems. We are. It's not unique. I think the rest of the world are facing
very different and tricky challenges. The whole world is.
But I would say that we think when we were growing up, we had it okay, and your path was set out for you. You went to university. I actually think the generation of today has got ample opportunities. Just the world is literally your oyster. You're not office bound anymore. You know, the technology that's open to these generation now.
Yes,
so I don't think everything is doom and gloom.
What do you do about, because you talk a lot about the youth, what do we talk about unemployment of adults? And do you think that this could be a possible solution for not only the youth, but for people of all ages to look at as a career choice? Because what do we do there? You know, what do we do with that
adult
gap?
Education?
Yes.
Yeah. So there we've definitely got that mindset barrier. There's definitely some barriers there. We've also got a generation that the class, the quality of education that was given for the last couple of years. I'm sitting with those students now. They have got a grade 12, but I do my aptitude tests with them, and they do not come close to a grade 10.
So they are with the test that you be doing.
Yeah. So they are studying to become junior managers, but the capability is not there. So to answer you on that question is, we're going to have to work together to work on, I don't know, technology or programs that are able to play catch up, and then also, I don't know, to try and get them into programs, but to start from where they are and to make them think they're going to become junior managers is almost a sin.
Yes.
Because and it's not their fault. You're going to want to have to reinvent yourself.
I like that.
We're going to have to give everybody in South Africa access to good Wi-Fi and connectivity, because that's the only way that if you can get a tablet or a device into someone's hands, you are actually able to do and learn any new skill.
Yes.
Elon Musk said the other day that you don't actually need to go to university anymore to study something. If you've got YouTube and you have got Google, you can. And this is the youngster.
You're the second person that said that today.
Yeah,
that
from Joburg that took his NFSA money and he saved it, and he did all these courses, and now he designed this app. But he saw a need and he wanted to. Okay, so he wanted to. So everything is online. Yes, we're going to have to look at our I would say our 26s to our 30s. They're on about there. They're kind of being let down. But I made my career change in I was 35, 38. The problem is, not the problem is, I often get it, yes, but you come from a privileged background or whatever. Firstly, I always say you don't know really what my background was.
You don't know the story of a person.
You don't know the story. But what I do have, what this person that I'm talking to does not have, is I had the will to want to better myself. I was going to be moved to Australia so that I, as a single mom at the time, could afford and to earn more money. I realized with the work I was in, I was not going to be able to earn more. It was a saturated market. So I took a leap of faith and I studied health and safety. My personality is a dynamic, and as health and safety is a very foundation work. But I excelled because I knew I had no choice.
You see.
And then from there, my true passion came out, and that's learning development. So firstly, I think one should not just think, about the other people. I am not at all insensitive of the majority of South Africans. The inequality, the poverty that goes with it. But we are now in a time that there's no so much laws and policies in wetgewing and put in place to benefit one section of South Africa. I don't understand why you don't succeed.
Do you think it's as you said before, it's the attitude?
Yes.
Because you speak about that, I agree with you.
Yes, it's a mindset, because literally everything is there. So much policy is put in place to try and right the wrongs from the past. So you in the bound seats, you just need to make sure that you want to change, that you know your worth, that you know you're more worth than a 4,000 Rand stipend a month. If it's your fourth one, I want to know why. And I'm sitting with some very bright students, and the one student said to me, "Ma'am, the biggest mistake I think some of you make is you think we want to work." And I'm not speaking for all of them.
No, you're not.
But it's definitely something they made me think that day, is that maybe this handouts is creating you not to want more. I had no choice.
You had no choice.
I was a single mom. I needed to make a change. And yes, going from someone who's creative and flamboyant and colourful, now you wear a hard hat and safety boots. You can imagine it was, and I mean, orange and yellow is not my colour at all. So now you had to do it, but it opened a world of opportunities for me, and I wanted to. So
open your mind.
Open your mind.
And I think we don't all do what we studied. At the same time, that has given you some opportunity to lead you somewhere else. There's nothing.
Absolutely.
My mother, she's a teacher, and she says nothing you learn is for nothing.
No, 100% agree.
So I know that you are using your creativity, and you've got a fashion line that you're doing, and I'm very excited about that. But still, opening your mind to opportunities when you don't have a choice, often it's those things that lead you to your passion.
Absolutely. And if people ask, what advice would you give to the youngsters these days? What must they look at? It's definitely going to be a skill set. It's going to be ambition. It's going to be self-control, self-discipline. You most likely are not going to work in a controlled space anymore. You're going to work on your self-paced time. So you're going to have to learn different skill sets. I would say look for problems yet to be solved. If you're going to become problem solving, I mean, I don't think it's rocket science where you're going to. You have got that's why I say I'm excited about the youth opportunities that lie ahead. We just need to get these people when we get to a braai and they go, I don't understand why you don't leave the country. You're very able to.
It's difficult also to leave the country. You can't just leave the country.
But if I could, I don't know if I would. I've got two
very
boys,
passionate about it.
And they say, they're not going to get jobs. You're very right, they're not. That's why they're going to create jobs. But just please stop saying this around my children. Just then maybe it's not the place for you. And if you are able to, then by all means.
Yes.
So I don't want that kind of talk around my children. Things are changing. Yeah, you're not going to just study and walk into a corporate. It's not going to.
It's kind of a negative thing because yes. I don't look at the government for solutions. I can't. My industry, you take responsibility for what you're doing and so gaan jy aan, so you carry on. But I think that there is certainly a way, and I love the way you said attitude.
Yeah.
Because it's everything, and also you didn't do it when you were in your early 20s. You only discovered this later, which I think gives a lot of people hope who are in a situation at a later stage with their lives where they go, well, I've got to change careers. If you do commit and your attitude is right, there is a way.
Definitely. And there's also financial means that you can apply for. And yeah, at the end of the day, I think it comes down to what you want out of it. And this is what we need to teach the youth, our children, the generations. We need to teach it in our schools. You need self-discipline. You need grit. You are going to have a different skill set.
Yes.
To be able to not just survive, to thrive.
And to make it.
And to make
this,
it.
In this ever-changing world.
So yes, I honestly, I don't think it's all doom and gloom. You asked me now, what does the wind turbine mean to me? To me, when I look at them, to me it says there's hope. There's hope.
It's a beautiful symbol.
And one of the biggest wind turbine manufacturers, we've done a lot of work with them, is Vestas, and their slogan is wind. It means the world to us. And I guess to me that is what education means. For me, it's training a generation for a better future, and to realize that the choices and the decisions you make today has got an impact on tomorrow.
It's like the wind. You can't see you can feel the effect, It's this invisible, amazing.
Yeah.
And for me,
nice.
that's
Yes.
reverberating or reiterating rather what you're saying it's an invisible. It might seem invisible, but the effect is massive, and I love that about what you do. And I love those. I drive and I watch these things and I think, Renate, look.
Die
Windpomp meisje.
It's even more remarkable if you're standing on those steps, because even if you drive past it, and they're huge from where you're sitting in the car, but if you're standing on that steps, the bottom, you feel like you're this small.
You're this tiny, and you look up at this. And thank you for joining the 22nd of March at the Crystal Beach Hotel, and thank you for being one of our mentors. I think that's incredible.
Looking forward to that.
What is your topic going to be on the day that we didn't touch today? And I think it's incredible, you as a mentor. Thank you.
I'm going to talk about energy, specifically about the green economy, creating awareness, and what it can mean to companies and also to our future generation. And then also about education and about the skill set that we need to look at. Also, unfortunately, the curricula, and doing some research on my topic, it's not just South Africa. The schooling system has been written so that you can memorize and not question. And I think critical thinking and a critical or your cognitive flexibility and able to adapt to the environment where you're in is going to play a huge role in the future.
Adaptability, yes.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm looking into that. So it's more a skill set, because there's no crystal ball to say, I think a lawyer, I'm thinking, and I'm also thinking, or what I'm also speaking to when I do speak to the schools and to the younger ones, is that there's not something like BCom gewoon. You've got to position yourself uniquely these days. You've got to look at a BCom maybe with sustainability, or if you're doing architecture, you're looking with architecture with a sustainability and a green development. So
interestingly, marrying the two.
You've got to get yourself into a niche, and you've got to get yourself into not just general. We grew up with the saying that goeie klip by die bos en dan kyk jy wat se voël skiet uit. I don't think we have got the luxury of doing that anymore.
No, we've got a plan.
You've got a niche and a focus. Yes.
And you're actually not the only person that said that today. Is the niche focus that you really look at when you are looking at a career.
Yeah. So that is what I'm talking about that day. And in the green economy, the not knowing. I always say there's not rich and poor, and how the rich get so rich, and is there a cheat code? No, it's the knowing eating the unknowing. So I think we need to
knowing eating the unknowing. That's a lovely.
Yeah. So I think we should just be more aware and make plans more intentionally.
Thank you, and with purpose. Thank you, and I hope that you go from, I know you'll go from strength to strength. It's always great chatting to you. It's very insightful. And when I see those wind turbines, I go, Renate!
Windmills.
The windmills, they're so beautiful.
But thank you, Hanle. It's always nice speaking to you.
And I look forward to hearing your talk on the 22nd. And thank you for being like the wind, giving the effect wherever you go.
Right, thanks.
The incredible Renate van Schalkwyk on Insights with Hanle Barnard with you. She's the Director of Learning and Development at Wind Academy. It was absolutely insightful chatting to you. Thank you, Renate.
Thanks, Hanle.
Keep on watching us, and thank you for joining us today.